All right, so we're on chapter 6, the science of sharing. So, one thing that's important on Facebook is all about sharing. And we want to post content that gets shared. The problem is 99.9% of the stuff that people post doesn't get shared. Well, there's a very important reason, and I'm going to share that with you now, and it's in the science of sharing. So, the first thing that this chapter is based on is a professor of marketing at the Wharton School of Business named Dr. Kathleen Milkman did a study, and where she studied over 7,000 New York Times posts, and she had some very interesting discoveries. And she was looking to see which posts went most viral and why. And she could figure out what are the qualities of those posts that go most viral. And what she discovered was very interesting. She found that the posts that went most viral all had a very positive emotion, very, very positive emotion. Okay, and she called this valence. All right, and so this has a very positive valence, and valence is how positively or negatively emotionally charged your content is. For example, the photo on the left is clearly a very negative emotion, where the photo on the right, the kid making his camel crack up, is clearly a very positive emotion. That's a positive valence. You see the photo on the left only got 14 likes. The photo on the right got 4,485 likes, tons of comments and shares. Well, what she discovered is that of the 7,000 posts, the ones that went most viral not only had a really positive emotion, but they also had a really high emotional charge. So we posted these two photos on our yoga page. The photo at the bottom is a professional model doing yoga in a professional outdoor setting, and we posted it on a page with 1.3 million yoga likes. You'd think that photo should go viral, but it didn't at all, and only got 124 likes. The photo on top has a much higher emotional charge, and it's like a fantasy arrow archer. They're not even doing yoga, but it had a much higher emotional charge. It got 4,276 likes. And so Professor Milkman coined the term the integral effect. The integral effect. The integral effect is the correlation between how positive, the high emotional charge and the positive emotional charge, and how viral the posts go. Okay, that's the integral effect. Okay, so in the integral effect, what you want, if you're ever wondering, okay, well, why aren't my posts going viral? Go back and look at them and see, do your posts have a high and a positive emotional charge? I see most people's Facebook page, their post is sign up for my newsletter, sign up for my webinar, buy my stuff. That's what most people's posts are on Facebook. Well, that doesn't fit in this upper right-hand quadrant. So write this down. Here's your viral post formula. It's a positive photo, or it could be a video, that has a positive emotion and a high emotional charge. That's your most viral images, okay? So like this is me and my wife doing yoga in front of our property in Costa Rica. That's both, it has a high emotional charge, it has a positive emotion. When I posted this photo, it got lots of likes, comments, and shares, all right? Then that's the viral post formula. So write that down and double check, go back and look and see, oh, I do a post and it doesn't get any likes, comments, and shares. Did it follow this formula? That's a first test. Okay, the next one is super viral post formula. So I see posts regularly that have over 100,000 likes or comments or shares, and I call those super viral posts. And what I notice is that super viral posts tend to follow a formula, and the formula is a photo, and of course it could be a video as well, but stories of selfless acts of love, kindness, and generosity. Stories of selfless acts of love, kindness, and generosity. You can see this particular image. This is a guy with his dog named Shep, and Shep was a 16-year-old German Shepherd suffering from severe arthritis, and John would take him on a short walk around Lake Superior and to help Shep stay in good health, and at the end of their walk, he would take him into Lake Superior, and Shep would fall asleep peacefully in his arms. That post got 351,000 likes, 200,000 shares, and lots and lots of comments. And it went on to inspire millions of people. And that led me to ask a fundamental question: why do people share this kind of content? Selfless acts of love, kindness, and generosity. Why do we share this kind of content? Why is that the kind of content that goes super viral? And it turns out the answer is really interesting, because people want to be perceived as selfless, kind, and benevolent. People want to be perceived as selfless, kind, and benevolent. And the reason why is that people share content that represents the way they want to be perceived. Okay? People share content that represents the way they want to be perceived. Okay, so write that down. When you're wondering what kind of content should I post, it's content that represents the way that people want to be perceived. So, if I put sign up for my newsletter and I made that as a post, does that represent the way anybody wants to be perceived? If I put buy my stuff, does that represent the way anybody wants to be perceived? And, the easy answer is no, it does not. So instead, what you should do is start a movement for positive change with your business by doing posts where you're sharing stories of selfless acts of love, kindness, and generosity. So my guess is if you're listening to this right now, every single day, you probably perform selfless acts of love, kindness, or generosity. Probably every day. And you may not have thought that those should be Facebook page posts. You just may not have considered it. You might say, well, doesn't that seem self-serving? Well, let me ask you something. Does this post here with Shep and his dog, when you saw that, did you say to yourself, oh, that was self-serving of John to do that post? Almost nobody says yes. Pretty much everybody says no, that was just John being a good human and being selfless and doing a selfless act of love, kindness, and generosity. And that is exactly what he was doing. And I'm saying you do the same thing. If you want to get your post shared on Facebook, post your own stories of you performing selfless acts of love, kindness, or generosity. Okay, I had this post about playing a fun game with my daughter in the morning, and it got 449 likes, and people loved it. In the mornings before we go, go to school, we do art instead of letting the kids watch TV and stuff. And that's not. I didn't do that so that I could have a Facebook page post. I did that because that's what I do. And it's a selfless act of love and kindness and generosity. And for those of you who don't want to post photos of yourself, no worries. Here's another example. We're posting a photo. We grow our own food. Okay, and this is part of sharing our values on Facebook, and it got got 118 likes in a very short period of time. So if you want to delve in deep on the science of sharing, I have a whole segment called the Science of Sharing, so you can write this down. Go and check it out later. You can go to www.scienceofsharing.com, and you can go even deeper on how to make the science of sharing work for you. But the bottom line is you need to post photos and stories of selfless acts of love, kindness, and generosity. And in doing so, you will attract customers who share your values. And again, if you want to go deeper, go to scienceofsharing.com. And then we'll see you in Chapter 7, how to find your customers on Facebook.